Welcome, rational thinkers and champions of evidence-based reasoning, to the Free of Faith podcast. This is the place where we dare to peel back the comforting but opaque layers of faith-based claims and expose their logical shortcomings. Today, we're tackling a common claim.
If there's no objective morality, life becomes absurd. So a moral lawgiver must exist.
This jump doesn't follow. The world can be value neutral, yet still work for creatures like us, who possess empathy, reciprocity, and the ability to cooperate. Feeling uneasy about a rule-free universe isn't proof that cosmic rules are real. So what guides behavior, if not absolutes? It is compassion and empathy that most frequently lead to fulfilling lives. Humans who help because they care, not because they fear punishment or want a reward, are usually more stable and humane. Obligation can force compliance, but compassion builds meaningful connections. Does simple respect and compassion work in the real world? Look at secular-leaning countries like Sweden, Norway, and Japan. High trust, low violent crime, strong social support. By contrast, places loudly claiming absolute codes can still struggle with corruption and instability. Belief alone doesn't drive outcomes. Education, equity, and good governance do. The practical question is whether a society builds smart incentives and reduces needless harm, not whether it quotes a rulebook from the sky. Now zoom in on people, not nations. Reciprocity, family bonds, and coalition building aren't obligatory. They're strategies that helped groups survive and thrive. The feelings that come with them, such as guilt when we hurt and warmth when we help, are built-in regulators. No cosmic scoreboard required.
But what about Stalin and Hitler?
Atrocities track more with authoritarian power, propaganda, and broken personalities than with low belief in absolutes. And history has plenty of horrors done in the name of divine or universal rules. If a transcendent objective standard were a safety lock, we'd expect fewer proposed standards of this sort. Ordinary life tells a better story. Non-believers donate, volunteer, and cooperate from empathy, not fear. Here's the core logic. First, compassion and empathy exist and can guide behavior without cosmic laws. Second, societies that reject universal moral claims still run well, using shared goals and decent institutions. Third, dislike of a lawless cosmos is just a feeling. Feelings don't set reality. So a world without objective morality isn't absurd and not even necessarily uncomfortable. And it most certainly doesn't force a lawgiver. A few quick analogies. A compass points north. It doesn't give step-by-step directions. Compassion is like that, directional, not bossy. Language rules emerge from use. There's no global chief grammarian. Social norms grow the same way. A garden thrives with water, sun, and soil. Cooperation thrives with trust, feedback, and fair rules. No cosmic superintendent needed. Here are a few common pushbacks and short responses.
Compassion is subjective. Anyone can twist it.
That's why we use public reasons, open debate, and clear goals. Claims like we're compassionately purging enemies fall apart when you demand transparency and actual harm reduction.
Your unease at value emptiness proves a higher standard.
Or it just shows humans seek patterns and comfort. Strong feelings often aim at the wrong target.
Secular success rides on religious roots.
Influence isn't dependence. Norms change, drop baggage, and stand on their own. Many key freedoms grew by challenging absolutes.
Nature explains behavior, not what we should do.
True. The only obligation is that which follows from shared aims. If we want less suffering and more opportunity, we back what works to get there.
Atrocities reflect sin, emerging from a lack of a higher authority.
If the recognition of a higher authority reduced atrocities, history would look better. There would have been In such societies, accountable institutions, free inquiry, and cultures that reward empathy.
Rational behavior is just relativism.
It's adaptive, not flimsy. Maintaining core aims, such as reducing preventable suffering and updating methods with evidence, is resilience. Note that none of this smuggles in a hidden moral realm. We don't need one. We simply talk in terms of behavior, incentives, and results. Humans can build steady, humane norms without moral thingies living out there in the universe. Here's a hard truth. Top-down universal systems often crush compassion. When the rule is sacred, empathy too often gets buried. The command to kill Amalekite infants in 1 Samuel 15 shows how moral duty can bulldoze away the instinctive compassion we have towards infants. So try a different stance. No cosmic ledger. No metaphysical ought. Just a shared project based on common compassion. Reduce needless suffering. Expand real chances in life. Keep feedback loops open. Laws are tools, not idols. We judge norms by outcomes, not authority. Compassion isn't fluff. It's a practical lens that notices details that rules miss. It asks,
What does this person need? What would actually help now?
compassion outperforms rigid codes of behavior on their own goals. This is responsibility in a world empty of moral facts. We respond to need, not by order from beyond the clouds, but out of recognition of how harm works and how much better life goes for all of us when compassion trumps moral dictums. Instead of being bleak, it's freeing. It swaps fear for agency and posturing for results. It calls us to make systems that match our best instincts and stay humble enough to change. Sufficient compassion regularly outperforms moral systems, even by their own metrics. If this conversation has sparked some questions or even some discomfort, that's a good thing. Questioning is the first step toward clarity. Don't settle for easy answers or platitudes. Dive deeper, explore further, and demand evidence. Head over to Free of Faith to read the full article and join the discussion. Let's keep this conversation going, because the pursuit of truth doesn't stop at questioning. It's about finding answers that actually make sense. Thank you for tuning in to the Free of Faith podcast, where we expose the logical failings of faith and celebrate the clarity that comes with reason. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay curious, and remember, rationality always outperforms faith. Engage reality, and I'll see you soon.